Welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music in which we're going to discuss what we think about different albums that we're going through. Right now, we're listening to the staff pick list on the consequenceofsound.net. We also talk about some of our other favorite albums. This week, we are talking about number 83 on the list, which is John Lennon's Imagine. Fair warning, we use coarse language or say offensive things during the show. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
So, what's been going on there, man?
Not a lot, man. Just, same old shit. I did hear something really cool. I don't know if you ever listened to, Science Fridays.
No, I don't.
No. They have it's like a weekly thing on NPR. And, they were talking about, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get, they're trying to make a superconductor, like a metal that will conduct at 100% with like no resistance or anything else.
Right.
And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to, condense pure hydrogen.
Okay.
And so they want it to work at like room temperature. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like instead of having it like really hot, they want it to work at efficiency at about at room temperature. And what they said they've done was with some tests, they've gotten it to where it'll work just above room temperature. It's not like at 100%.
Okay.
But it's really neat. So what they're doing is they get this really thin film of, lanthanum.
Okay.
And like a foil sheet. And then they'll get like tiny diamonds and like a D battery. You put like those together.
Yeah.
And they'll get like really tiny diamonds and they'll try to condense the hydrogen to make it like form. You know what I mean?
Right.
Theoretically you could get like carbon and if you put a lot of pressure on it, it'll be, diamond at room temperature. It'll like compress everything and get it that way. And so they're trying that with hydrogen. I thought that was really cool. That was super neat.
Yeah, I've read a couple of science articles about that particular thing, and so superconductors, they use them in things like it would make things a lot easier for like CAT scan machines and shit like that. I mean, electronics in general, but telecommunications and like CAT scan machines and all that kind of stuff. And normally they have to be like cooled with like liquid nitrogen or sometimes liquid hydrogen. They have to get so goddamn cold. So yeah, I've read a little bit about that kind of stuff, and it is pretty interesting what they're trying to do. I mean, they're making advances for sure, but that's something that we may or may not see in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, they're still, trying to do it. They had a couple of people on. They had like a theoretical chemist and they had theoretical physicist and stuff like that. And they were talking about like what they're trying to do to get it to work, and it's getting pretty close.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. And then I've got a couple nature stories too. We had a real bad storm this week. So I had a huge limb like bust off of my tree and I got to play with a chainsaw and cut that up today. So that was fun.
Fucking A, man. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Any excuse to use a chainsaw, man, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just one of those big boy toys that, yes, chainsaw. So I got to cut that shit up. And then, my roommate texted me yesterday and she goes, hey, don't freak out, but there's a snake in the garage. But it's getting taken care of. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get home today and she's telling me about it and I'm like, well, I'm just never gonna do my laundry anymore. I guess that's where the snake lives. Like, I'm not going in there. Fuck that noise. Like,
yeah.
She's like, oh, it was just a little rat snake. I was like, fine. Don't care. I'm like, you know how I feel about snakes. I am not a fan. So it's dead. So, lawn's never gonna get cut because the lawnmower's in there. Luckily I pulled all my power tools out so I can saw some stuff, but yeah, definitely not gonna be able to wash my clothes.
Yeah.
Ever again. Like ever again.
I mean, you could use the sink and hang them up in the yard.
Yeah, it's true. I guess I could use the bathtub method, like do it in the, But the thing is, if you do it in the bathtub, like, cause we have like the powder soap.
Yeah.
Once you fucking like actually get in there, it gets you like real itchy and shit. I don't know if you've ever like taken a bath and you've been so broke that you didn't have soap, but you had to use laundry detergent.
Oh, fucking.
But yeah, that shit's real itchy, man. Like,
Jesus.
I don't know. I just.
All right.
Yeah, so if you ever run out of soap, highly recommend using the liquid soap. If you're gonna use the liquid laundry detergent,
I typically go liquid laundry detergent anyway. So.
Okay, well, just letting you know the other stuff's itchy.
Well, all right. I'll keep that in mind.
You never know, man. You never know. Just trying to stomp out some ignorance. And also, turns out lions are being killed by porcupines.
What?
In Africa?
What?
Yeah, so, this crazy shit. So like when lions get real hungry, and they don't have anything to eat, they'll fuck around with anything if they're starving. So that what they found out is a bunch of lions are starting to try to eat these fucking African porcupines. And what happens is they get fucking stabbed in their mouth.
Yeah.
And they end up getting poked, and that shit gets fetid and rotten, and they fucking end up dying due to
Jesus.
Like a fucking infection.
Ain't that a way to go?
Like a blood infection.
God.
Yeah,
damn.
man. It's a double whammy of shit, man.
Fuck.
So I had some other guy talking about the fucking, what? Wait, what? When I saw it, I was like, lions are losing the war on porcupines? What the fuck, man? Fuck them bitches over, man.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Alright.
So, yeah, that, and then I, also finished the fourth book in the, Wheel of Time series.
Oh, okay.
So I'm 4 deep now, and the story's getting better. So if, you can kind of cliff note the first two. The third one gets good. The fourth one's it's getting a lot better. So I'm finally getting to where I feel like he's trying to take us. You know what I mean?
Well, fucking A, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's vampires now, so that's cool. I was like, what? Nigga, what? Vampires? Okay, dark vampires. Okay, yeah, they're nightly creatures, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, but didn't see that coming. But okay. Alright. Anyway, what's new with you, bud?
Fucking A, man. This morning, I officially shipped, my first guitar sale. So that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
I guess technically you can
chase that paper, son.
Yeah. Got my final payment yesterday and shipped it out, this morning. I guess technically you could consider it my brother's first guitar, but, he never actually gave me any money for that, because I owed him some cash for some, trips that we took where he paid for my flight, and I just hadn't paid him back yet, so I took that off the total, and then the rest of it I just gave it to him for Christmas, the remaining balance. And the guitar itself. So I don't really consider that a sale. Plus, he's my brother, so doesn't count.
Nah, you should have charged that motherfucker double.
Oh, don't worry, he'll be paying for the rest of them. But
right on, cool, man.
Yeah, and then last weekend was Kay's birthday. So we met up with her family, her parents, and her brother were in Madison, Wisconsin, where her brother lives. So that was neat. Her parents paid for a little swanky B&B that we stayed in, that Kirsten and I stayed in over the weekend. As the people that ran that place were really fucking cool. They had this tract of land, and they fucking have this old school house with all these rooms for the B&B, and then very country house-esque, but they also grow a lot of their own fruits and vegetables, and they fucking raise sheep and shit like that. And a bunch of their sheep had just given birth, so I got to feed a baby lamb. That was pretty neat.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's adorable.
It really was.
That's awesome.
It really was. It was, I guess this one sheep had 3 lambs, and this one was a runt, so the mother rejected it, so they were bottle feeding it and shit, so I got to bottle feed the runt, and yeah, it was so soft.
Yeah.
Super soft.
Now I want some veal.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is the sheep that they raised were not wool sheep. You don't shear them. They raise these sheep for meat.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, these are eating sheep.
What do they call? What kind of meat is that? Cause I know like lamb's lamb,
right.
But sheep, it's called mutton?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what? Yes, mutton. Okay. I was like, it's a Scottish thing, I think, right?
I don't know. It's a fucking sheep.
I don't know, man. I barely passed geography, dog. Like, I don't know.
So like, he was explaining to us about how, like, they don't have to shear these sheep. They just, when their summer coats come in, they just rub themselves on the fence and pull the winter coat off. Cause they're like hairy and not woolly. It was weird. I don't know, it was weird.
Oh, okay. So like, kinda like when, like, deer's antlers grow in and they have like felt stuff that they gotta rub off.
Yeah.
Over like the bone antler, you know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Huh.
So, I don't know, I guess they don't, I mean, I guess they shed, like, when long-haired dogs come in on the summer, they, they have to shed a bunch of their longer hair for slightly shorter hair or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know shit about sheep, but, the baby sheep was really cute. The little lamb was really cute.
I know a little bit about goats, that's about it.
So.
I know cabritas. I don't know dick. Huh, that's cool. Isn't sheep like really gamey? Did y'all eat any while you were there? And like offer you any?
We didn't eat any.
No.
They, I'm assuming they sell them, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Cause they didn't have any rams. They just had a bunch of, ewes? Whatever the fuck you call female sheep. They had like...
Yeah, that one I do. It's an ewe.
Yeah, they had like 4 or 5 of those. And so I guess, I guess they artificially inseminate them or they bring in a ram or something. I don't know. Every year and, I'm assuming they have the lambs, they grow them to a certain size and sell them off is what I'm guessing.
Uh-huh. Huh. I thought they were doing like a whole like off the grid self-maintaining kind of thing, like where they grow their own shit and they're like...
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
All of the breakfast, all the breakfast stuff we had was mostly like the vegetables and shit in our breakfast, like was all stuff that, they grew there. So, like they had an orchard and they had their own vegetable gardens and shit like that. Like, so they did a bunch of farm to table stuff where they grew most of the stuff they had, but I'm sure like, and they had chickens and stuff, so they had their own eggs and all that stuff. So like,
yeah,
I'm sure stuff like, flour and that kind of crap, they still have to order in, but.
Yeah, they're not grinding their own meal and shit like that.
Right. And, yeah, so like, I don't know, one of the breakfasts they had turkey sausage and there was, there were turkeys on the property. I don't know if they were wild turkeys or not, but, so I don't know if they're making that stuff too. I don't know. It was I don't know, just like an old country house thing. It was neat. They were really cool people too, so.
Oh. So you kind of went to Shroot Farms just with that.
Yeah, they weren't that creepy.
I was going to say, did they have a cousin named Buzz?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, hold on. Give me 1 second. I left my vino inside.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So, I picked up this bottle of wine earlier.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it now, and I was like, man, this wine really sucks. And they misspelled Sauvignon. Because it's a Cabernet Sauvignon and they misspelled it. And they forgot the U. I was like, oh, that might be a reason why it's dog shit.
Well.
So, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Yep. Alright, so you wanna get into this?
Yeah, let's talk about some, John Lennon.
Alright, well, shoot, I forgot. So, what I did was I listened to everything all bass backwards.
Okay.
So I don't remember what songs are where, and I think I'm missing a page of my notes, so I'm really not ready.
Alright, well, I didn't take notes, so, that makes two of us.
Hold on. Wait. At least give the fucking... Okay, so I do know that this is, John Lennon's second album.
Okay.
And it's his second, solo album, I should say.
Right.
He did do, like, he was in every Beatles album and stuff like that. Yeah, it was released in 1971. and it's a little more complex than what he did with the Plastic Ono Band and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it was, it got some reviews and reviewers and stuff like that for, especially for the song Imagine, which is like the big song on here.
Right.
And then, there were 3 different album covers, and I think Yoko was the one that took pictures for 2 of them.
Okay.
For like the main one with like him with the smoke and stuff like that. That was like a Polaroid that they did like in their apartment or something like that.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it was pretty well received. Got number 1 on a bunch of stuff. Didn't do great in the Dutch album charts. Got 99. But it's double platinum. It's pretty, overall, it's kind of, he does have a lot of different styles going on for the most part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, he does change it up a bit, which is pretty neat.
Right.
I honestly, going in, I was really hesitant because I don't know. John Lennon is just not my favorite Beatle.
Right.
And I didn't know, I know he could like put together a song because I know that's kind of what his main, that was kind of his main role in the Beatles, was kind of the arranging and things like that.
Right.
And making those weird sounds and those kind of psychedelic themes and stuff like that. I know George did a lot too. I mean, George is, anyway.
Right.
I could gush about George Harrison, but he did a lot of that, and then Paul was more kind of the lyric writer, and I know that's where kind of George picked up both of those. I think George took those 2 ideas and put it together, and he was like, I feel like the best all-around Beatle, because he didn't have an ego issue where they just hated each other and stuff. He was kind of cool with everybody.
Right.
In fact, he plays on, I think, 2 or 3 of these songs.
Okay.
I think he does the guitar work on a couple of these songs. We'll get there when we get there, but I know he's on it. And I know Yoko's was heavily influenced by this album, and I think she did even some of the writing.
Okay.
I believe she wrote some of the lyrics for Imagine as well, but I don't know if she's credited or not, but it does say that she did write stuff.
Okay.
But, so that's pretty much that in a nutshell. What did you think, overall, buddy?
I don't know. It's not a bad album by any stretch of the imagination. There's some good stuff here. Mm-hmm. I just didn't really care. I don't know if it was just the mood I was in when I was listening to it or what, but I don't know. I didn't feel inspired by this album. This album kind of washed over me and was not, didn't elicit a lot of emotion, I should say. I don't really know why.
Okay. I feel you.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I know, I feel you. I'm almost kind of in the same boat. I feel like, a lot of his lyrics are really, except for, one song, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of like imagery or tongue in cheek like what he kind of did with like in the Beatles, where they had those clever lyrics and stuff like that. Right. It's kind of very straightforward, and he, for the most part, yeah, but beyond that, yeah, it's kind of, I don't feel like it connected with me that much. Like, I mean, I get what he's saying, but it didn't make me really feel for it.
Yeah.
For what he's trying to go for. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know if it was if it's just you had to kind of grow up with in this time period or what. I don't know. Or if it was just the mood I was in this week, last week. I don't know. I listened to it a couple of times, and then I was just like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm ready to move on. So.
Yeah, you listen to it once or twice, you get the gist. There's not a lot I would go back to. There's maybe like 1 or 2 songs that I liked, but.
Yeah, I listened to it again today, and, it's got a couple of songs that you can just kind of bob your head to or whatever, but still just kind of meh, like wasn't super, didn't get super pumped up by any of this, which is, I guess goes against the grain of popular America, because this was a huge hit, right? And, Yeah,
I mean, it was number 1 for a while, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go, let's start with Imagine.
Yeah. This is the first song, the title track.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The one that everybody's heard.
Yes, you've heard this.
Right.
For sure. It's a fun call to peace.
Right.
And, they kind of, oh, here we go. Shit. That's what I was looking for. I found my notes, yay! And so, it's just kind of a call to action for like world peace and stuff like that. And
right.
For the most part, it's well put together. It kind of has that slow build, and he has that, and this whole album, he kind of has this weird, like, he always has like an effect on his voice. Did you catch that? Like for the most part?
Yeah, I picked it up in some songs, and it's more prevalent in some songs than others. But
there definitely is like a filter or a light reverb or
something, yeah,
or something. But there's always some effect to his voice that kind of took me out. Like it wasn't like my first run through. I didn't notice it, but when I listened to it again, I was like, man, almost in every song he's got that weird resonation that I didn't know why was added, unless maybe he's self-conscious about what he sounds like or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you're dealing with professional production work, like they're always gonna do some After Effects just to kind of tighten up that sound just a little bit extra. And even with the vocals, they're gonna do some post-processing just to make you sound, just to tighten things up a little bit, like, not necessarily like tighten, I don't know, not like as an effect on the sound to tighten the sound, but just to make things more polished is, I think, a better analogy.
Yeah, to clean it up.
Right.
Yeah.
That way if you hit if you peaked out or something, they'll bring that down, but or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a fucking producer, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I mean, there's always going to be post-production work. That's why you have a fucking producer. So it's why you have a guy in the booth, is to make these tweaks while you're doing it. And, it's why that albums go through editing and shit. Same thing with movies and everything else, fucking podcasts. Mm-hmm. Get the levels right and all that stuff. Yeah, some. Mostly just getting the levels mixed correctly, and everything else pretty much stays the way it is.
For sure. And I didn't mention it, but this was released in the middle of like the Vietnam War.
Right.
So like this is what he's trying to come across, is like he's tired of what he feels is a senseless war that America was roped into.
For sure.
And in fact, like this album and his political stuff, Richard Nixon tried to deport him.
Okay.
Because of his anti-Nixon-y things.
Yeah.
And I think he does mention Nixon once or twice. Tricky Dicky. He mentions Tricky Dicky once or twice in this album.
Right.
But yeah, this one's very much like, we need to work for peace and world peace and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I this is a song that, I've known for a long time, and so it's a song that I've always enjoyed on some level. I can totally get behind the anti-war messages in this album. I mean, I'm right there with him, as far as that, like, political stance goes with, we don't need to be in so many goddamn wars all the time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm good with anti-war. Like, I'm pretty much a pacifist as far as my stance goes on stuff anyway, so yeah, I can get behind the nonviolence and the anti-war agenda that he's trying to put out, and it's a well-made song. It's probably not my favorite on the album, but it's a good song. So
yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely the most popular song.
Oh,
for
definitely,
sure. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much that.
Yeah, we move
on to Cripple Inside.
Yeah. So this song is like, if you walked into a stereotypical Old West saloon in any movie you've ever seen, this is what's playing in the background.
For sure. It sounds like, I was gonna say, I even wrote down, it sounds like the music in the Lego movie when he walks into the saloon.
Yeah, dude. This is Old West saloon fare. It's got that, like, player piano sound going on in the background, and that country twang to it. I don't know if he was dogging on the genre or not. I couldn't really tell, but didn't seem like it, but to me, but I thought it was well done, and I actually quite enjoyed this song.
I'm on board with you, brother.
All right.
I really like this song. It was so fun. That's what kind of like I was like, okay, we start with Imagine. Okay,
right.
Fine. And this song came on, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
okay,
yeah.
okay, alright. Like, okay, this is a little different what we're doing. But I mean, also you gotta think like, that's where like the Brit invasion came from, was like, what they did was they took all of our old blues music and they sold it back to us.
Yeah, but you know,
like they turned
up the rock and roll knob a little bit and then regurgitated it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like this I think is just kind of like in that vein where he's going back to like different times in American music.
Right.
And he wanted to make a song in that style. And you know, it's fun.
It is.
It's fun, like I really dig it.
I mean, the messages in it is depressing as fuck, but
yeah.
But at the same time, he makes it a fun song, and I mean, I think that's like, so I guess he does a good job of matching the music and the lyrics here, where it's like, yeah, from the outside, everything's great, but you're crippled inside.
Yeah. And like, when this song came out, I literally had to look, I was like, did my Spotify change to something else? Like, what? Like, no, this is, okay, alright, cause it really didn't sound like him, like his voice didn't sound the same,
right.
Like, the style was all crazy, and I was like, what the this is, okay, cool. Yeah, and it's basically, you know, your outside doesn't match your inside.
Right.
Like, you can hide behind whatever, but when you're crippled inside. And like, again, this starts off those lyrics that are kind of weak and kind of straightforward, which I'm not, you know, I'm more of I want a message. And then, I mean, there's a message here, but it's too right there in your face for me.
Okay.
Which I think he does a lot in this album, but mostly on this one for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, fun listen. Fun listen. I really dug this song.
I agree.
All right, so we move on to Jealous Guy.
Jealous Guy.
Mm-hmm. What do you have to say about it?
I don't know. This wasn't really the song for me. It's okay. I thought it was a good song, but this is where I started to just like not really care. Like I'm okay with the message he's giving, and like I didn't mean to hurt you and all that stuff, but kind of forgettable to me, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah. Meh. And from what I remember, I believe John Lennon was kind of an abusive relationship person. Like he abused people when he was in relationships.
Okay.
And I think this is kind of that remorse from that.
Okay.
Like I think he physically hurt somebody. And so, hey, sorry about that.
That's not very living up to your speaking the peace message.
Yeah, well, he had like a lot of like depression and anxiety and stuff, and like,
right.
I think being like super self-conscious, like he is so jealous he has to get abusive kind of thing. And I know that's like a shitty mentality like to have, but that's the mentality that people in that have.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's kind of shitty.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I can't speak to any of this because I don't know if he was abusive or not, but it's just one of those things. It's like, if you're going to speak a peaceful message, don't be a hypocrite and then go home and hit your wife, you know? Like, I don't care what your mental issues are. That makes you a shitty person in my eyes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And again, the lyrics are a little too straightforward for me. You know, he was, you know, I was swallowing my pain. I'm just a jealous guy. The rhymes are real not good. And like, and I believe this is the one that also has that weird like reverb sound on his voice too. I think.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, it's not. No, not.
I don't remember.
No, it's not this one. This is the one where he actually sounds like clear, like his voice sounds clear, and I was like, okay. Anyway. So yeah, kind of meh.
Yeah, right there with you.
Yeah. Okay, so It's So Hard.
It's So Hard. In My Pants.
In his pants. Yeah, it has, okay, so, yeah, it's got like a really garage bandy sound on this one.
Okay.
And kind of bluesy, and then they have that sax that comes in that I liked.
Okay.
That's what because I like that saxophone came in, I was like, ooh, go on.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really get garage bandy out of this. I got 40s and 50s blues out of this. So, I mean, I guess it's in the same kind of vein of the lower production value because they just didn't have the fucking technology back then, especially the old blues guys that were essentially dirt poor and couldn't afford to get professional production done. So, so I got kind of, yeah, I guess they're in the same vein of low budget, but, this made me think of just a really old blues song. And like beginning of electric guitar era blues song, like original Telecaster, bridge pickup, just, very twangy and, I like the effort here. I do. I like the way he's going with this, but it's not a great blues song.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it was not a great blues song, but it's kind of like, when I meant garage bandy, like, I kind of got the feeling like from like old White Stripes. Does that make sense?
Okay. Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the early stuff where it's that kind of like unclean sound. But
yeah, okay.
Anyway, but which is what you were kind of, I think, which is what you were expressing.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just not the best blues writer.
No, he's not a good. He's a good arranger. He's not a good, and lyrics too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. He's a good arranger. 'Cause like you said, there's that little sax in there, and there's like, you know, like we were talking about with the other song, where there's like that player piano sound, and like there's piano solos earlier in the album, and like, and they're well timed and stuff. So yeah, I think you're right. Good arranger, but he's just, man, this song, I really, really wanted to like it, and it was okay.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, I that's pretty much it. Oh, I did want to say, in Jealous Guy, I did like the violin. I thought that was a really cool addition.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm just a sucker. I'm sucker for a violin. You throw a violin in anything and I'm gonna fucking love it.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah. And then, and also, why the whistling? Why did he think whistling was a good part? Like,
I don't know.
Let's whistle for 30 seconds. Like, well, there's no need, dog. You didn't have to whistle.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Anyway, moving on. Okay. So, the next one is I Don't Want to Be a Soldier.
Yeah.
And this is the longest song on the album. I believe it's 6 minutes and 3 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it's a fun jam song.
I like this song.
Yeah, it's a good jam song. Like, it's a fun one. The melody's really good. I think, it's easy to tap your feet to and kind of like, kind of bob your head to for a minute.
Yeah, it's a little slower. But, I don't know. It's got some of those, it brings in some of those psychedelic sounds a little bit. Like that 60s psychedelic kind of stuff, is a little bit present in here. Again, the lyrics are very on the nose. But I can get behind the message, and, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought I agree with you. I think the melody's really well put together, and so I don't know. I thought it was this is a good song.
Yeah, I think it. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
How many things does John Lennon not want to be? And how many can you name?
Well, I've got the lyrics up.
I'll give you one. Oh, damn it.
I bring up the lyrics for every time we record. So,
well,
if you're going to ask a question like that, you need to do it before we get to the song. Or you need to warn me.
Well,
because I've been staring at the lyrics, and it's like, well, I can count.
Well, there are 7. There's 7 things he doesn't want to
be.
For very, very simple reasons. He doesn't want to be a soldier because he doesn't want to shoot nobody.
Right.
He wants to fly because he doesn't want to be a sailor. No, he doesn't want to fly.
Right.
He doesn't want to be a failure. He doesn't want to be a poor man, a lawyer, a thief, or a churchman. Yeah. So those are all the things he doesn't want to be.
Right. So.
And the lyrics do get a little repetitive. It's kind of I don't want to be a this and I don't want to be a that because I want to do this and I don't want to do that. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, oh, woe is me. It's a little whiny, but at the same time, I thought it was, again, well arranged, like what you said, and yeah, good song.
Yeah. All right, 1 second, bud. Give me 1 second.
No.
All right. Anyway, okay, so yeah, it's okay. It's a good song. Like musically, he's not saying a lot.
Yeah, musically, I really like this song. The lyrically, it's a little whiny, but I overall like just I don't know, overall feeling of the song. This was a good one for me. So that's that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do Give Me Some Truth.
Yeah, that would be the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, this one has a lot of. He is very, very angry.
He is, yeah.
And he's tired of a lot of. He does a lot of fun name calling.
That he does.
You know, I like that. This is where his fun. Oh, here we go.
The tricky
no
dicky.
short-haired, yellow-bellied son of a tricky dicky. Yeah, is gonna Mother Hubbard soft soap me. Yeah, yeah. And also, I like the line. Money for pocket full of hope, money for dope or money for rope. So I don't want to get high or hang myself because I'm tired of this fucking existence.
Yeah, very anti-establishment, anti-politics.
Yeah, for sure. You're just very against the climate, political climate, if you will.
Right.
Yeah. So there he is. It's fun. Could you fucking just give this guy some truth? Could you please give this fucking guy some truth? Yeah. Holy shit, like, this was a grindy song for me, man. Like,
yeah.
I know, I Don't Want to Be a Soldier was a little bit.
Right.
This one is the grindiest song. Like, I think it's only like 3.5, 4 minutes, but holy shit, it felt like 5,000 hours to get through the song.
Okay.
Holy shit, I could not. Like, I listened to it again today, and this was the only song on here I was like, nah, man, not gonna do it again, man. Nah, can't, I got it the first time, loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, this fell on the forgettable hole to me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just, I mean, you know, he's just frustrated with hypocrisy and stuff like that.
Right.
And, but it does have a bunch. This one has some really good guitar solos by George Harrison.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the fun. I think that's a real good saving grace of this song is that George comes in and knocks it the fuck out in a couple of solos.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I just.
If it weren't for the rest of the song, that would be that'd be great.
The perfect song.
But the fact that you don't want to listen to the rest of the song kind of negates the guitar solos there, because yeah. So yeah, that's and then there is a saxophone on here. That was neat. I like that. Right.
Yeah. And then so that's that.
We move on to
Oh My Love.
That it is.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's a pretty song. Outside of that, I didn't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's it's a slower jam, and it's it's his kind of learning to view life now that because he's in love and he he feels something now that he I don't know, he feels transformed in a way where he can appreciate things better. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he feels love now, and so that's, something that changes him as a person, and blah, blah, blah. Sappy. It's pretty, but whatever.
It's, yeah, you know, yeah.
Don't get me wrong,
man.
like, I'm a fucking sap too.
This is a little bit over the line. Like, I'm a fucking sad sack. Like, I cry all the time. Like, I went through Endgame and I cried through the whole fucking movie.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I haven't seen it yet, so.
Oh, dude, I cried during Sing, like, like the fucking musical Sing.
No,
like,
I want to go see
yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I already know how things go down, just because, I didn't stay off the internet for the last week.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's already been spoiled for me. I'm not gonna tell you what I think to let you confirm or deny because,
I wasn't gonna tell you either way.
Yeah,
like,
so I was thinking about going and seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, man, check it out.
Yeah, I want to.
Do not get a drink. That movie is fucking long, man. Like, you will have to pee. And I fucked up. I saw it at the Draft House, so I had like 2 beers and like, I had to go pee at one point and then I came back and like by the end I was like, oh my god, I'm about to piss my pants.
Yeah, is it like a 3-hour movie or what?
I think it's 3 and some change, yeah.
Jesus,
I think so.
Dude, that's
ridiculous. Yeah, it's a long fucking movie.
That's too long. I don't know, man. That's too long. I don't know.
It's
maybe
too
not.
long without an intermission.
Yeah, for sure.
Give me a 10-minute intermission.
I didn't see Captain Marvel, so I'm gonna miss that backstory. But whatever. I want to see Endgame just because I saw Infinity War and I want to complete the story, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Marvel makes great fucking movies, so.
They are kind of batting 1,000, man.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I probably should watch Captain Marvel first, but that would require me going to see that first.
To go see another movie and to see another movie, yeah. Nah, I did the same. Well, actually, I was driving to the lake when I got to work on Friday because we're going to do some work on Saturday.
Right.
And, as I was driving up, Experience Grind dropped their episode about Endgame.
Yeah.
And I was like listening to it for a while and I got about half an hour in and I was like, okay, you know what? I don't mind them spoiling it. I don't know when I'm going to see it. I don't know when I'll have the time. So it's okay. I'll listen to it. And I got like to the first bit where they said like the first thing that they're like, okay, at the beginning of the movie this happens. They're like, okay, nope, can't listen to you guys. Sorry.
Yeah,
can't do it.
That's another reason I want to go see this movie is because I refuse to listen to that episode of Experience Grind until I see the movie. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that this entire conversation is not going to be relevant when this episode comes out because
it's going to be out for like months ago. But,
yeah, it's like a couple months in advance, but whatever, dude.
But it's literally like the beginning of May right now.
Right. So, like it came out a week ago. Not to date this episode, but you know, fucking whatever.
But we're talking about an album 71. I didn't see spoilers. I'm like, it's fine. Like, Anyway, it just, I forgot how we got here.
I don't know. We were talking
being
about
sappy fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sappy fucks, yeah.
No. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm a fucking romantic guy. Like, I like, you know, I like cuddling, okay? Like, I like being a little spoon sometimes. But.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
little spoon's where it's at.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Know.
I don't know, dude. Little spoon's where it's at. I don't know about you. Like, I know dudes are supposed to eat the big spoon, but fuck that. Little spoon is fucking awesome.
You're right, but I never get to beat a little spoon.
It never happens, right? Like, I always like to be, cause it's enveloping, you know what I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, it's just comforting. It's just
for sure, dude.
Like, it's like the most comforting position that you can fucking be in, and I love it, but I'm also the taller person in the relationship, so yeah, like
I will curl up into a tiny ass ball because I'm a little man and I can get a
it's whatever.
Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, little spoon's way to go. It's like wearing a human security blanket. It's awesome.
Dude, yeah. It's the most comfortable position for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, shit. My favorite movie's Amelie. I don't give a fuck. It's a rom-com. I don't give a shit.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Rom-coms are good.
And it's French.
Yeah. Jeez. All right, you win.
I knew you didn't
You're
know that
sappier,
movie.
you win.
Anyway, okay. All right. Anyway, so we did Oh My Love. What was next? What's next?
How do you sleep?
Oh, How Do You Sleep?
Yeah.
I really dig this song.
Yeah?
I was a big fan of this song.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I like this song a lot. Like, all he does is talk shit. And it is fucking awesome. I love it. It's it's the funkiest song on the album for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
The violin comes in sunshine type of violin comes in.
Right.
Oh man, and he's just so fucking mad at Paul McCartney. Like, he talks nothing but shit about him. It is fucking awesome. There's like a couple of references. Is like one of the things he says is the only thing you did was yesterday. Like, your only fucking hit was yesterday.
Right.
Damn, and that was like on the third album, dog. And then like 9. And what does he say? He says, I guess all those crazy critics were right when they said Paul was dead. And he say,
okay.
Yeah, man. Cause he said, as far as being an artist, he's dead.
Okay.
And he's like, how do you sleep, you fucking sleazy motherfucker? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I guess Paul got the last laugh because, you know.
He damn sure did get all those rights though.
And, he didn't get shot, so. Awkward.
Yeah. And then he made a bunch more money when Michael Jackson bought all his songs.
Right.
So he got double paid for his music.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is just, I love it. I love a good shit talking song.
Yeah, I think for me, the line of the album comes out of this song.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I enjoyed this song as well. I didn't pick up immediately on the shit talking. It didn't jump out at me right away, but I liked. I thought it was a pretty song. I think it's really nice. But I think the line of the album to me is, a pretty face may last a year or two, but pretty soon they'll see what you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great shit talking line, and I thought it was. I don't know. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, I think this whole song is the line of the album, cause he fucking just digs into him. Like, I love it when they talk. I love it when like celebrities talk shit about each other. It's fucking awesome to me. Especially in the music. Like, I don't know. I love diss tracks. What I really like are like, do you ever watch any of those like hip hop battles and stuff like that?
No, not even a little bit.
Man, there's some good, like, I've seen, whenever you get a chance, check out, Ideas. EYEDEAS, Ideas.
Okay.
At the Blaze battles. Okay. Holy shit. He tears people apart. Like, he is so fucking funny. Like, I don't know. I love it. I love good hip hop battle. Like, one of my favorite commercials that was on MTV2, it had, Slug and Ant from Atmosphere. Okay. And they went down to like under the bridge where where everybody hangs out and like spits music and stuff like that, where they have like the battles and stuff. Okay. And he goes up to, Murs has like a 5-year-old or 6-year-old son or a 7-year-old son. He's like, oh man, I heard some guy talking your name. Oh, there he is right now. Let's go talk to him. He goes up and he goes, oh man, I heard you spit my name. What you gonna say? And he's talking shit to this 7-year-old kid, and they have this rap battle, and this kid like eats his fucking lunch. It's fucking hysterical. Anyway, I love that shit. I love a good shit talking.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's fun.
Hey, real quick, let me take a piss.
Certainly.
Alright, be right back.
Sorry? Okay.
Sorry.
And we're back.
I didn't realize you were still sitting there.
Yeah. That's all I do, Andrew. I just sit here and I just wait for you to call me. I just in the dark in front of a computer screen. We'll call sometime.
Yeah, that's so very obviously not true. Whenever I fucking hit you up and you're like, oh yeah, we'll record. Just give me like 30 minutes. And then like an hour later, you're like, All right, I'm ready.
So I just get lazy until we do that, and like, oh fuck, I said I was gonna do it already. Shit, I gotta go. I gotta get rid. I gotta put pants on now. God damn it. I guess I really don't have to because you can't see me anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just wearing socks. It's fine. Anyway. Okay, so we went from How Do You Sleep to the next song is How.
It is.
And I feel like the way this album should have been, the title should have been written is How Do You Sleep, ... How. And it should have been a continuation of like, no, I still got more shit to say. Because when I saw the track listing, I was like, how do you sleep? How? Like, how do you sleep? Like, how?
Yeah, this one's less shit talking, more sad sack.
Yeah, it goes back to being sad sacky. Yeah. But in my head, I was hoping, like, cause I heard How Do You Sleep, and I was like, dude, does he still keep talking shit? It's awesome. Like, I love that. Like, we're just gonna do it in a different style of music. Like, and another thing, motherfucker. But no, this is not what I hoped or envisioned for.
No, it's not.
Oh well. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a slow build, and it's got a really dreary sound and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I wrote about and then didn't finish my notes. So I just write down what this was about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just more of the kind of the same theme with what we get with Crippled Inside and
well, but
it's so hard.
Life is hard. Life is hard for a fucking multi-millionaire that whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of like I think that's kind of the themes of this album is like these are the things he thought he was feeling until he fell in love.
Right.
And then now, since he's in love and he understands, he wants the truth. He doesn't want to, he knows what he wants.
Yeah.
For true. And this is his like expression on that. So I think that's kind of the idea for the entire album. So that's, so. Now that he knows what he feels, like when he's saying like, oh my love, like he can feel stuff, he feels sadness, he feels pain, he starts thinking like, imagine this kind of world, or fucking, how did I go on feeling this way for so long, and life is hard, and da-da-da-da, and I am a jealous guy, I'm sorry I hit you.
I mean, I get it, like, people that don't have anything to really worry about can get anxious and depressed too. It's just hard to care. And this song is just not that, I didn't care for it as a whole anyway. So lyrically it just didn't do anything for me on top of the song, not doing anything for me musically. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is my P song for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of up in the air between that or Give Me Some Truth. Like,
or the next song.
Oh Yoko, I didn't mind Oh Yoko.
I didn't care.
I liked Oh Yoko. It has a fun, I think the sound is fun. It's kind of lighthearted and kind of fun. Like, it has the, I don't know, I kind of liked it. It's really upbeat and stuff like that.
I'll give you that on the sound. It was almost like, where was I going with that? Kind of lost my train of thought. I was thinking, I guess I was thinking the song Ohio by the Black Keys. It's not anything like that song, which I know is a terrible way to lead into why I thought it made me think of that song, but for some reason this made me think of that song.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yoko,
I guess
Ohio.
So. I think it must be that.
There's a fire somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a fire in the lyrics or something.
It's probably strictly just the syllable of the Oh Yoko, Ohio. It's probably all it is. So I guess maybe it's just the title ingrained that into my head, and I was like, okay, it's a fun song, but I still don't care. Like,
I mean, again, the lyrics are real. They're
real
trash.
Fucking stupid.
This is dog shit.
Yeah. They're fucking hot garbage.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, I think of you, I call your name, in the bath, in the shade, I call you, I look to you, in a dream, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, but I do like the sound.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And, and so My Love Will Turn You On.
Right.
This is a reference from, a song that the Beatles did called A Day in the Life.
Oh, okay.
And he says, I want to turn you on. And that was a reference for getting high.
Yeah.
Cause I remember being I think I was in high school and I was working at a Subway. And inside, I was working in a Subway, in a gas station. So we were, connected. And, there was a dude who worked at the gas station side. He was an older cat.
Okay.
And, one day, we were hanging out and we were, cause he was a cool dude and he played a lot of board games and stuff. And so, I went over to his house to check out, all his collections and stuff. And he had, the old, he had Zork and, all the old computer stuff and, first edition D&D stuff that he had, written campaigns on and stuff like that. And he had, old, 1970 Risk and shit like that, where all the characters were wooden blocks.
Okay.
And you got a little block, a little just a cube was one guy. You got a longer, a Xanax ladder kind of thing.
Okay.
And then a big, kind of a bigger chip was your tanks. Anyway, so he was telling me that he was trying to buy some pot from the drug dealer, the local drug dealer at my school. And he was like, hey man, I want to get turned on. And I was like, what dude? He's like, so I told him that and then I didn't realize that wasn't a term anymore. Cause that was a thing in the 60s and 70s.
What the fuck?
And I was like, what
say
the
to me?
fuck? Right, exactly. And so I also bought pot from this dude and I was like, hey man, did you sell to that guy? He's like, dude, he told me he wanted to turn me on and I totally didn't understand what that meant. He explained it and I was like, I kinda didn't trust it. I was like, dude, it's a thing. I understand. It's a Beatles reference thing.
Right.
It's totally, so I got to hear both the stories from each individual party.
That's pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah. So turn you on means to get you high. So
right.
My love will get you high. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I know that was kind of a roundabout way to say it, but that's what it is. Anyway, so this song really kind of makes me, the sound, it kind of flashed me back to, there's a band called Me Without You.
Sure.
And they have an album called It's All Crazy, It's All False, It's All a Dream, It's All Right.
All right.
This sound is kind of what they do in this whole album. It's kind of that upbeat, folksy kind of lighthearted sound stuff.
Okay.
So when I heard this, I was like, oh shit, this could be I'm surprised Me Without You didn't cover it. This is very much up their alley. Up their alley.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. I know that didn't make any sense to you, but.
No, I've never heard of that.
That's what I thought.
So.
Yeah. They're fun. They're super religious. Cause the whole, yeah, no, they are. Cause the whole idea is, what is me without you, as in God?
Right.
And then that was kind of the concept for their first couple of albums, and they get really religious and really Christian-y, but they do good music.
Okay.
They do really good, Brothers and Sisters is a really good album.
Right. Okay.
Anyway.
Well,
So that's Imagine.
That's Imagine.
That is Imagine.
What are your overall thoughts on this album?
Oh, well, I'll go top 3 first.
Oh, okay.
And,
all right.
I do have to say my number 3 is Crippled Inside, cause that hit me fucking sideways, and I was like, okay, cool, I can go back to this song.
Okay.
My number 2 is, It's So Hard.
Okay.
I did like that song. I think I just like that bluesy sound that they were going for.
Right.
I didn't and then, my number 1, of course, is How Do You Sleep?
Of course it is.
Of course
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Just, you hit me with a violin and it's shit talking. Sold.
Yeah, okay. Alright. I can respect that.
Alright.
Yeah, so, I'm not entirely sure how to rank this. I think I'm gonna say my number 3 is Man, see, 3 and 4, like they're right there, right? So
that's for me. That's always the hardest decision.
I know
what is going to be number 3.
I mean,
number 1's like easy. Number 2, like okay, like number 1 and number 2 is always a bit of a debate, but it's always like what's going to be number 3. Like that really like That's the hardest. That's the hardest decision for me.
So I don't know. I guess I'm going to say. Man, this is tough because I wasn't super inspired by any of this. So like it's hard to really put anything on like a super high podium, but I guess I'm going to say How Do You Sleep? Cuz that's where my line of the album came from.
Yeah, okay, for number 3.
Yeah, number 2 I think I'm going to say I Don't Want to Be a Soldier.
Okay.
I fucking really dug the psychedelic sound, and just thought it was a great song. And number 1, I think I'm gonna go Crippled Inside, because man, like you said, Hit You Sideways, it was super fun. Like that old saloon player piano just like caught me way the fuck off guard, and I was like, all right, yeah, this is the song of the album for me.
Right?
Yeah, dude, I when I first put this album on, I was like, Imagine came on, I was like, okay, it's Imagine. Like, got it. Crippled Inside came on, and I listened to it, and I was like, oh, this is the song of the album for me. Like,
that's exactly how it went. Like, for Imagine, it's like, okay, you have my attention.
Yeah.
And Crippled Inside, now you have my interest.
I wanted to put It So Hard in there, because it was a decent song, and I like the bluesy theme of it, but I don't know. I think How Do You Sleep was a better song.
Yeah, I got you. Not a problem.
So
I like How Do You Sleep too. So did you know that they made a movie, a short film, or I wouldn't say short, they made an 81-minute film directed by Andy Warhol about Imagine. That stars not only Andy Warhol,
of course,
but Fred Astaire.
But who? Oh, Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire. Mm-hmm. Dick Cavett.
All right.
And George Harrison.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Did you also know that it is quoted as being the most expensive home movie of all time?
Oh, that's fucking great.
If you didn't know, now you know.
That's fucking great. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So, if you wanna go around on the YouTubes, I found it. It's on there. I'm talking to anybody.
Okay.
Anybody who's listening, if you wanna go check this out, it's there. I got about 10 minutes in and I was like, okay, I'm done. Scrub. Okay, they're doing this. Scrub. Okay, scrub, and you're done. Okay, alright, okay, cool. Got it.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's neat. I'm gonna pass, but that's neat.
So, yeah. Yeah, I mean. If you got...
I talked to Caleb earlier this week. He really enjoyed the Stitches episode that we did.
Did he? That's awesome. I hope he did. God damn it! I had to listen to fucking Stitches.
Yeah. So I was talking to him on the phone, and he was like, "Man, I got another album for y'all." And I was like, "Okay, well, put it in the comments on Facebook." And he's like, "Well, then everybody's just gonna be like, why are you doing all of Caleb's albums?" We're like, "Dude, even if you tell me over the phone, I'm gonna fucking announce it on the show that you fucking picked it. I'm not gonna fucking just be like, hey, I pulled this out of my ass."
No, this is another request by Caleb.
No.
And that was kind of a gem. That was a gem. I kind of enjoyed that episode.
Man, I've really enjoyed talking shit about Stitches with you, and listening back to it while we were editing it, I was just, man, we had a lot of fun.
It was a good time. It was the most fun recording I remember having.
It was a dog shit album, but it was a lot of fun to record. So, I don't remember what he told me, but because he named off the band, and it was something stupid that I'd never heard of. But I told him we're not going to do it unless you fucking comment
Unless you, unless you physically get online and record something.
Yeah.
It has to be documented.
Right. I can't just be, I
Record
can't just
on.
be, taking recommendations, over phone call.
Or that's what we could start doing is just start picking shitty albums and then just like,
Just blame them all on
Caleb
Caleb.
asked for it, man. Like, Caleb asked for this one, sorry. Like,
Here's another
who
recommendation
who
brought
put
to you by
Imagine on
Caleb
this
Malkin.
album at number 83? Yeah, Caleb put this album at number 83. I don't know. This is his. He got a choice in the consequence of sound. How? I don't know. I didn't know he had that kind of connections, but he made sure this happened, so we had to listen to it.
Oh yeah, okay.
He also picked Pavement.
Oh man. Alright, so that's gonna be our new trope. We're gonna blame all bad albums on good old Caleb. Love you, buddy.
Until this is our silent protest until you actually give us a shitty album to do. Or unsilent protest.
So yeah, I told him to make sure he lets us know on the interwebs. Cause I sure as shit don't remember what the fuck he said.
It's not like clowncore or something.
Man,
have you seen the clowncore?
I've heard of that and I'm not interested even a little bit.
It is a terrible.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, my buddy Derek is the king of crappy music, and I learned that through him. And that is it's god awful.
Man, I mean, like, there's some gems in the stuff that I've listened to with Caleb. Like, he introduced me to Kennedy, and oh man, he's a gem. Like,
Kennedy? I don't think I know that one.
Oh man, Kennedy. Oh yeah,
Kennedy.
He's great. He's got such songs as Nobody Loves You Like Your Mama Loves You. Stuff like that, man. And he actually has really high production value, and some of his stuff is actually pretty good. But he's just he's playing the fool like he plays. It's fucking funny. I don't know, the song, most of the shit that he does is comedic in some way, but it's very in the vein of like R&B, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Like if Stephen Lynch did like an R&B album?
I don't know if it's quite that campy, but maybe. But yeah, like, there's some good shit. Like he has a song, I think it's called Magic, and it's about shooting up, like he's like, or it's about just a variety of drugs anyway, cause he's like magic, in my nose, magic between my toes, like, dude, it's great. Like and it's like this like super fun, like disco kind of vibe to it. It's amazing. Like, and Caleb introduced me to this motherfucker. And I gotta say, like, man, for as jokey as it is, it's funny enough, and it's actually produced well enough, and the dude is a straight up artist. Like, I don't know, it's good shit. So if you haven't listened to Kennedy, that's a recommendation, or that's something that I heard getting into the car one day with Caleb and riding with him. He just had that shit on, man. Like, ever since, I'm just like, okay, I'm down with this. Like, I'm actually down with this, cause the dude's funny, but he writes, his songwriting's amazing. So yeah, give him a listen.
I will definitely check that out for sure. Alright, so, do you wanna rate this?
Sure.
Alright, so, out of 1 to 10 bottles of wine that are spelled incorrectly, how would you rate this?
This is a solid 6.
Right on.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. I was gonna say
Okay.
5. It's, I mean, I like what he does with the music a
Right.
lot. Like, there's a lot of really good, potential for songs, but there's not a lot of depth in the lyrics, which I kind of look for. Like, that's kind of my jam. And especially coming from somebody who helped write Sergeant Pepper, and then the most creative song you have is, I mean, well, Imagine is, but like lyrically deep songs, like, but again, I understand that wasn't like his thing in the Beatles, but come on, man, like, give me a little bit, like, give me something. Yeah. Well, he did give me the best shit talking, one of the best shit talking songs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is solidly average. The arrangements are good.
Yeah,
the music is fun in some places, and in others it's okay.
Yeah.
Like if he was batting 1,000 with all of the songs musically, I'd be inclined to do this album better. But I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, all of them are arranged well and mixed well and produced well and all that stuff. But I just, even musically, I don't feel like it's as creative as the Beatles as a whole. Not by a long shot.
Well, it's hard to be when you have so many like talented minds in the room. Right. And, but I mean, he does go forward and Imagine, and that's, written, I mean, it's a pretty song. There are stuff in here, I like, but as far as a whole, like, it's a real hit and miss.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And I mean, even the Beatles as a group have some misses for sure, but I think as a group, they're a far bigger powerhouse than John Lennon is on his own.
Well, I mean, the same can be said about like Wings. Like, Paul McCartney after Wings, what he wrote the James Bond song and then maybe one or two more, Band on the Run.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know what I mean? Like, so like, I don't know. And George didn't have too many single hits for the most part.
No, I agree. These guys were all, these guys made some incredible music together as a powerhouse, and apart, they're missing the elements of the other people.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of good arrangement, which he does well, and then he's missing the good songwriting that Paul did, or the fun jam shit. Well, he did have George here a bit, so that's why you get those like cool like guitar solos and shit.
Yeah,
like that. And stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's not a collaboration. It's a, hey George, come in and record on this song that I wrote.
I mean, I think somewhat. I don't know. I'm sure he gave George a little bit of, free reign with like where he wanted him to go. Like, I don't think he said like, you're gonna play this and then, fuck with it,
But still, he probably had an idea of certain song structures in his head already, and it was just like, okay, I need you to be the creative voice for this portion of the song. And it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like they sat down together and wrote songs together. It feels like John Lennon sat down and wrote songs and said, oh, George would be a good addition to this song.
For sure. Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
So,
yeah. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, now I understand what you're saying.
So I don't know. I think, I understand they feuded and all that shit. They broke up and blah, 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 blah. Like, that happens to big band. But these three people and Ringo are just not, they're just not as good as when they're part of a whole.
For sure.
So, I don't know. Do you think this album should be on this list? Do you think is this album in your top 100?
In my top 100? I don't know.
Okay.
I kind of see the why it was written and why it's on here. So as far as like, I don't think it should be on, I think it should be on the top 100.
Okay.
Because it's saying like, I get where he's coming from, and it's, this is one of the Beatles, and he came out, this is his best solo album, and it did give the world Imagine, which is a, very powerful song, and a lot of people respect it. And it's a good song. And, however, I don't think it should be this high. I don't think it should be higher. I mean, for me, like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, there's no reason this should be over Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I think this should be under Beck. I think it should be somewhat with like, I think it should be maybe just about where Refused was.
Okay. I can totally get behind that. I don't know. There's, this doesn't make my top 100. like this wouldn't be on my personal list. Should it be included in this list? I'm kind of on the fence, cause I mean, of course I feel like my top 100 should be the top 100, but I'm not the staff at this publication, so I don't know. I'm okay with it being on this list, but I just, at the same time, I don't know. I guess I don't think it should, because I think this is a solidly average album, and I don't think solidly average belongs on a top 100.
Good point. No, that's a good point. But
at the same time, to what you said is this gave the world the song Imagine, which is culturally massive. So for that in its own, maybe it does, because of the significance of just that one song. So I don't know.
And it gave the world Crippled Inside.
That's true. That's true. Crippled Inside is great.
It did give the world Crippled Inside.
That is a great song.
But but it did come with, I don't want to be.
Yeah,
it did come with Give Me Some Truth.
Came with a whole lot of bad.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I definitely agree. It shouldn't be where it's at on the list, but on this particular list, like, I think I agree. Elton John's better. Michael Jackson's better. I would put this behind Beastie Boys. I mean, I think P-Funk's better. I like Metallica, Led Zeppelin. Like, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I honestly thought that the album we did last time with The Who, Tommy, I thought that was a far more interesting album.
Conceptually,
yeah,
for
like
sure.
I think it was far more creative.
Yes, and that's why I appreciated that. I think that's where I got most of my points from, was just from the weird the weird brainchild that it was.
And
I didn't like the execution,
right.
but and on this one I like the reverse. I think
execution's great. The
execution's great, but the there's no bones to it.
So I would agree with that. So I don't remember where I rated The Who, or Tommy. I'm not sure, but yeah,
I think we were about the same. I think we said 5 or like 4 or 5 collectively.
Yeah, I don't think it's so maybe I was a little harsh on it. I think I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed this album.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. They're kind of like, The Who was interesting, but I didn't really care for much of the story. And this album is very well put together, but I don't care about any of it.
Yeah, for sure. His message at all. Mm-hmm. Here's the real question,
okay.
Andrew. Would you take this album or College Dropout?
Oh.
Because that is the 100th album on the top 100 albums.
I would take this album. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're wrong, but that's
sure.
That's fine.
College Dropout was a fine album. And it had some good songs, but it didn't have Crippled Inside. It didn't have It's So Hard. I don't want to be a soldier. How do you sleep? God
damn,
dude, it's like there's some solid hits here, but as an album, it's very average.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for every 8, there's a 4. There's a 2.
Right. Exactly. You got to sleep with a 4 to appreciate an 8.
Right.
Thank you, Tosh.0.
Is it George? Oh, is it Tosh.0? Oh, because I remember George Carlin did a bit where he's like, I never slept with a 10, but one night I slept with 5 10s.
So yeah, I don't know. I heard that from Daniel Tosh is you got to sleep with the floor to appreciate an 8, but I don't know. I don't know if that was, I don't know. He's a very offensive comic, so he's probably very inspired by George Carlin.
Oh, for sure. Did you see, what's his name? Anthony Gillespie has a new bit?
I haven't.
Have you listened to, you know him?
I think I've heard his stuff, but man, I honestly haven't listened to stand-up comedy in a hot minute. Like, I think stand-up comedy got replaced by podcasts for me.
Right on. Yeah.
Like, cause I wasn't,
Did you
I
listen
wasn't going to give up music
Did you
entirely,
hear, like...
but I can stand-up comedies. It's great when I see it or hear it, but I think podcasts are far more interesting, fulfilling. Whatever.
I do that more.
Yeah, exactly.
I check that box a little more often.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you haven't seen the new Dave Chappelle bits, they're pretty good.
Okay.
I rewatched them about the other day, about a week or so ago.
Did he do something like really recently?
Not like real recently. I think this was like 2-3 years ago.
I think I've seen that.
And he had like 3 or 4 stand-up
like
bits.
He disappeared for a while, and then when he came back, like he was like, this dude's been working out, and
yeah, he's like super jacked now.
And I saw a couple of those stand-ups, so I think I've probably seen the ones you're talking about, but it was probably a year or so ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Netflix special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he talks about yeah. But Dave Chappelle, like he's one of the best.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
dude. He's solid as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
He's up there with like Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, okay. Fucking A, man.
Yeah, I love Mitch. I'm so bummed that he passed away.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got to see him. I did get to see George Carlin before he died.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I haven't told this story before. So, I had this girlfriend in high school, and for, I think her birthday, I bought tickets for George Carlin to go watch him at the Majestic in San Antonio. And so, he was supposed to play, and it got pushed back because, I think, he went to rehab for like Vicodin and wine or something like that. He went to rehab, and so he got pushed back for a couple of months, and I think it was about Valentine's Day, and so I was working at this restaurant in San Antonio, and I took the day off because it was like a Friday night, and I was like, I normally work Fridays, and so I took the day off, and I was like, well, let's go eat before we go, and we'll go to the place since we know everybody and all that kind of stuff. So we're sitting down having dinner and like, talking to waiters and like all the people I work with and stuff, and I start laughing hysterically because I have this really funny thing in my head. I had this like really funny thought. and she goes, what are you laughing at? I was like, please don't ask now. I'll tell you in the car. It's going to be really funny in the car. Just don't let it go for now. And she's like, okay. And then like a couple minutes go by, like, what were you thinking about? I was like, please let this go. Please let this go, or it's going to be really funny, but really shitty at the same time. She's like, what is it? Tell me. And I'm like, look, don't, like, tell me. Like, okay. And so like in the middle of a Friday night dinner, I look at her in the face and go, you have gonorrhea? Like at the top of my lungs, like, and everybody stops what they're doing, stares at us. We hear a kid next to us go, Mommy, what's gonorrhea? She's like, if you didn't have those fucking tickets in your pocket right now, I'd walk right the fuck out of here.
Oh man, I can appreciate that you committed to the bit and you didn't just be like quietly like, well, I was gonna yell, you have gonorrhea. Then that you just like, no, I'm just gonna fucking do it.
No. Alright, you wanna do this? Okay, let's do it. You wanna get nuts? Let's get nuts.
That's fantastic. I think most of the women I've dated would fucking slap me if I did that.
She wanted to, like, she was stunned, like she was just like she didn't move for like a good 2 minutes, and like even our waiter, like my buddy Andy came up and goes, girl, I would get those keys. She's like, yeah, but he's got the fucking tickets in his pocket, that little motherfucker.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can admire the commitment. I don't think I have the balls to do that, but maybe I would if they were swollen with gonorrhea.
also at the place I work. So like my manager.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like
I had to like tell that story.
I feel like that actually lessens the blow because you work there, so people know who the fuck you are and know that your sense of humor is all fucked up.
This is also true. Yeah, I did fucking goddamn shit again. Anyway. Alright, well that's, so that reminds me a lot about Imagine. I don't know. Who's it imagining this fun time where I berated somebody for my own, for a funny thing.
Oh man. Okay, so thanks for sticking it out if you're still listening.
We did go a little long.
We did go a little episode. We're available wherever the fuck you get your podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, sadpandapresents.com. Anywhere else? I don't know if we're on Google Podcasts or not yet, but we're fucking pretty much everywhere. You can interact with us at facebook.com/sadpandapresentspodcast. Feel free to check us out and hit us up if you want us to check out an album. If you want to talk to us, if you want to tell us how this album went, if you want to tell us how this episode went, if you want to tell us that we have gonorrhea, let us know. Facebook is where we're going to see it. Next time we're going to be talking about number 82 on the list, which is the album Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins. So thanks again for listening. And, you got anything else, Shane?
You have gonorrhea? No, that's all I got.
All right. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Alright, thank you. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye.